G'day, it's Heath here from pickinglessons.com. In this mandolin lesson, we're going to take a look at a great Celtic tune called the Foxhunters. Now, the Foxhunters is a slip jig in 9/8 time. We'll have a chat about the 9/8 time signature a little bit later on. First of all, let's take a look at the first half of the tune, parts A and B, nice and slow. Part A, 1, 2, 3, and 1. Part B, 1, 2, 3, and 1. Okay, so there's parts A and B for the Foxhunters. If you head on over to pickinglessons.com, you're going to find the tab for this arrangement, and you'll find the second half of this lesson where we'll take a look at part C and part D. pickinglessons.com. Alright, so the Foxhunters is a slip jig, and a slip jig is in 9/8 time. What that means is we have 9 eighth notes to the bar, and those eighth notes are separated into 3 pulses. So basically we have 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. So 9 eighth notes with 3 pulses. Each pulse is a dot a quarter note with the 3 eighth notes inside them. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. So the 9/8 time slip jig. Now that presents a few challenges for our right hand, because what we're trying to do here is emphasize each note that falls on the beat. And to do that, we're going to pick that as a downstroke. And because a lot of the time we have 3 quavers picked together, we end up with a pattern that revolves around playing down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So the challenge to get the down, up, down, down is quite hard. So we'll take a look at a few exercises now to help us work on that right hand to get that down, up, down, down, up, down, picking nice and fluent. Okay, so let's have a look at the 2 variations that we find rhythmically throughout the tune. So the first of these is the quarter note quaver. So when we count this one, it'll be 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. The way that we'll pick that is down, up, down, up, down, up. So the quarter note and the eighth note. Now the second variation we have is when we play the 3 quavers together. So that's the down, up, down. And when we repeat that, we have the down, up, down, down, up, down. So that's a little tricky. We're going to work on that. But first of all, let's take a look at bar 1. Bar 1 and part A, the rhythm that we have there is 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. So let's have a bit of a slow play through that first bar. Ready, and. One more time. Ready, and. So notice the first 2 notes, picking as a down and up. The next 3 notes, down, up, down. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. The next 2 notes, starting with a down, followed by the up. So right hand, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. So the tricky part is at the end of the second beat to the beginning of the third beat. One more time. Ready, and down, up, down, up, down, down, up. So the double down picking stroke there at the end of the second beat into the beginning of the third beat. Keep an eye on that. Remember, we're trying to pick down on each of the pulses, so that grouping of 3 notes leads us to another downstroke. So work on that nice and slow. Let's jump into another exercises where we get to practice this right hand again, and we're going to take a look at measure 4 in part A. So measure 4 sounds like this. The right hand, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So 2 groupings of 3 quavers, quarter note, quaver to finish. Let's count that together. 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. Right hand, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So remember, keep in mind that we're always picking a downstroke on the pulse. If it's 3 quavers, 3 eighth notes together, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or the quarter note, eighth note, down, up, down, up. Whichever the combination is, always try and focus on your right hand following those two patterns. So part A, there's a couple of good exercises to work on. Let's jump into part B and we'll take a look at another couple of exercises. Firstly, for the left hand, the second measure of part B. Here we find ourselves needing to play the second fret on both the second string and the third string, following on from each other. And to do this, we really want to land in a position where we're flat with our first finger to start with, and we're going to roll up onto our fingertip. So when we place our finger initially for the second fret on string 2, we're going to place that halfway down the finger or thereabouts on the first finger, and we're going to roll up to the fingertip. So we start flat and we call this a roll, and we're going to roll up to the fingertip. It makes it easier to play rather than trying to go with your fingertip on each note. It's a little clunky like that. So we're going to land flat and roll up to the fingertip. So let's have a listen to that measure. So landing flat, then the fingertip. So that little technique there is really handy. In any situation you have two notes on the same fret but two different strings. The opposite can be true if it was the other way around, fingertip, then roll flat. In this case, we're landing flat first and rolling to the fingertip. So, good exercise, one more time. 3 and And the right hand, keep that in mind for the rhythm. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Another nice exercise. We're going to have a look at one more. The third measure is a great exercise for the right hand. We have 3 groupings of the 8th notes played consecutively. So this is how it sounds. Leading on to that first note of the final bar. Now, 3 groupings of the 8th notes. We need to pick each beat starting with a downstroke. So we get this. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. A little bit quicker. 3 and One more time. 3 and So that's a nice exercise. You can try repeating it. 3 and And remembering each group of 3 starts with a downstroke. So down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. Another good exercise. So break out those exercises, work on them individually so that as you get to know the tune, your right hand is developing the technique you need to emphasize those accented notes and being able to piece together those grouping of 3 notes, the 3 quavers in each beat, and then applying that to this time signature, the 9/8 slip jig. Okay, head on over to pickinglessons.com. You'll find the second half of this lesson. I'll see you there.